Hi, it's Ava, and this is a special Advent edition of Did You Know? Soon it's going to be my favorite time of the year, Advent. When I was growing up, my church put a special sign up, so when you came running up the stairs, the first thing you saw was a sign. It said, "Shh, slow down, be quiet, it's Advent." It's how you knew from the second you opened the door that something was different this time of year. Advent is what we call the season before Christmas time. So I know all around you things are starting to get ready for Christmas. You're seeing Christmas signs go up in the windows. Maybe you're seeing Santa Claus. At church, you're going to see something a little different. The way that we prepare for Christmas is with something we call an Advent wreath. It's not a wreath like what you hang on your door. It's a wreath that sits on the table and it holds candles. So I want to talk a little bit about why the Advent wreath looks the way that it does and what that means for us. So the first thing you'll notice is that the wreath is a circle. That circle is never-ending, unbroken, and it's made of evergreen branches and things that look good all year round, like these fir leaves or these pine cones. So other trees might lose their colors and the leaves fall down, but evergreen trees are always beautiful and fresh. So the combination of these evergreen leaves in this circle shape is sending us a message about eternal life. That's the message of Jesus. Jesus couldn't be defeated by death and the tomb at Easter, and we also remember that at Christmas. So you might have noticed these funny, empty gold things. They're candle holders. These are the special candles that you'll use for your wreath. There are 4 of them, one for each Sunday of Advent. Advent is really a whole month of preparation for Christmas time. So you'll put a candle here, just like so. In fact, you'll need your mom or dad to help you because you might want to melt the end so it stays in there. So we put our candle in our wreath, and every Sunday you'll add another candle. And I'll get to how we light those candles at the very end, because you also probably notice that I'm looking a little bare over here. I'm nice and full with all these branches. You actually are going to get an Advent wreath that looks just like this. If you come to church on Thursday, December 2nd, you'll get to decorate your own Advent wreath. You'll get a bag full of greens and pine cones and berries. You'll get some scissors and some of these pins, and you'll get to decorate your very own Advent wreath and come home with candles just like this one. So I'm going to show you how. I'm going to choose a branch. This is a nice one here. And you start to stick it in to this sort of woven grass. It's what holds our greens in. And if I want to start to bend my leaves around, I'll show you what I do next. So once I've got some nice green, I'll take one of these, and you'll need a grown-up to help you, maybe they're a little sharp, and push it in. That holds my branch down and starts to bring it around to make that beautiful wreath shape. These are pretty fun, these fake berries. Let's get some in there. And let me say a little bit about color. I've talked about the evergreen. And so this red, we symbolize, again, Christ's life and Christ's body and blood given for us at communion. You also may notice these colors of purple and pink. So this purple color is another way that the church tells us that we're preparing. If you think back to Easter, you might also remember Lent. Lent is another season of preparation and waiting where, again, everything is purple. So you know when you see purple in church, it's a serious time, and we're meant to be thinking about what's coming next. But then you probably notice, if you are like me and like the color pink, there's a pretty fun pink candle in the mix. Once you get to the 3rd Sunday in Advent, so you'd have all these candles up, you get to use a pink candle. And this pink candle symbolizes the word gaudete, which means rejoice. And when we get to this pink candle, this third Sunday of Advent, we know we're really getting close to Christmas time, and we can start to rejoice. All these candles, these 3 candles will be lit, and finally there'll be more light than there is darkness. Light is another symbol of Advent, these candles, and they symbolize the light of Christ in our world. So it's also symbolic that this celebration happens in the wintertime, when it's a bit darker and colder than any other time in the year. In fact, we'll have the longest nights of the whole year during Advent. And you can sit at home with your lit up Advent wreath and think about the ways that Christ is light. So I'm going to do a little bit more work to fill in my Advent wreath, and then I'll show you how we light the candles. So you may notice we've got one more candle here. Some people like to use a white candle, they call it a Christ candle, and light it on Christmas Eve. It almost says our Advent wreath journey that's brought us around this circle is done, and Jesus is born. So I want to tell you a little bit about how you can light this Advent wreath at home and make it a special part of how you move through the season. Because I think the special treat of being in the church is Christmas doesn't have to come too soon. It's exciting to wait. It's exciting to prepare, to slowly let our energy and our excitement build. And it really feels like something special when Christmas is here. So something you can do is, as a family, light your Advent wreath together. I like to make it a time to say a prayer. So you can light this candle and say together something like, "Dear God, you are the light of the world. Please guide us through our Advent journey and help us to see you everywhere." You can actually make up any prayer you want. Miss Vicky will send you home with some when you make your wreath. Or it could just be a time where you talk about what you're most excited about for the coming season of Christmas. Some people, instead of saying a prayer, like to sing a prayer. I know there's a song that I've learned from the choir here that I bet some of you know. People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able, trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today, love the guest is on the way. Let me not forget this. I'm going to experience all my Advent joy at once today. Our Christ candle that you can light on Christmas Eve. And this is what it looks like when we've come full circle with our evergreen leaves and our circle that reminds us of God's unbroken life and unbroken love for us. We have these candles that, even when they flicker, remind us that no matter how dark it seems, God's light is coming into the world and God's love for us can never be extinguished. I hope you'll come to church and make an Advent wreath with me on December 2nd. That's a Thursday night. You'll get to enjoy something like this in your house all season long as we prepare together for the birth of Jesus. Pretty neat, huh?